So far in this series, I have proposed that the great red dragon of Revelation, chapter 12, signifies the Jewish system of religion that was in place when Jesus began his ministry. The Lord identifies this system and its spirit as the dragon in John, chapter 8, verses 30 through 44. We identified the woman clothed with the sun as the new covenant. The sun and moon symbolic of the greater light or glory of the new covenant over the lesser light or glory of the old. This is why the moon is seen under her feet. The garland of 12 stars represents the government of God's kingdom, which Jesus, as well as his 12 apostles, exhibited during their ministries. Finally, we identified the male child or son as representing Christ and those who overcome as he did. It's important to note that a child of God is different from a son of God. The transliteration for child is teknon, while the transliteration for son is huios. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. Here, Paul speaks of the creation waiting with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. Why is this? Because it is the sons, not the children, who inherit the kingdom of God. Inheriting the kingdom is not equivalent to salvation, but rather with ruling with Christ. He who overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. A son is one who overcomes. In 1 John 2, John wrote this, I write to you, fathers, because you have known him who is from the beginning. I write to you, young men, because you have overcome the wicked one. I write to you, little children, because you have known the Father. I have written to you, fathers, because you have known him who is from the beginning. I have written to you, young men, because you are strong, and the word of God abides in you, and you have overcome the wicked one. Not once, but twice, John refers to young men as those who have overcome the wicked one. This is a matter of spiritual maturity, where young men denote sons. Fathers denotes those who produce children of God, and little children are those which the fathers produce. The fact that we have 3 particular levels of spiritual maturity stamps this perspective with a complete witness. I believe it also coincides with the following. And those who are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Called, chosen, and faithful. Little children, young men, and fathers. Sons connects with the understanding of adoption. For all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you have received the spirit of adoption as sons, by whom we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ, provided we suffer with him in order that we may also be glorified with him. For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. For the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. The Strong's Concordance defines adoption as the placing as a son, figurative of Christian sonship in respect to God. To put it simply, adoption refers to the time when the Son inherits all the Father has, including his power and authority. Consider what Jesus said to his disciples. All things that the Father has are mine. Therefore, I said that he will take of mine and declare it to you. So one must ask, where and when did Jesus receive his inheritance? It was at his baptism by John the Baptist. When he had been baptized, Jesus came up immediately from the water. And behold, the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting upon him. And suddenly a voice came from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Ever wonder why God declared, "This is my beloved Son"? It was because he was establishing the Lord's placement as a son. It was the Lord's adoption. In Romans 8, Paul is clear that we are all children of God and heirs. Heirs of God and fellow heirs with Christ. Nonetheless, not all go on to being placed as sons, receiving their inheritance. Why? Because Paul inserts a big if into the picture. Provided we suffer with him in order that we may also be glorified with him. In agreement, we read the following: If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. See our word suffer? Strong's defines this as to stay under, behind, that is, remain. Figurative, to undergo, that is, bear trials, have fortitude, persevere. It's found 17 times in the King James New Testament, most often rendered as endure or endured. How does all of this connect with the woman clothed with the sun and the male son? It comes back to the statement, "Then being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain to give birth." With this in mind, consider what Jesus said in Matthew 24. As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the close of the age?" And Jesus answered them, "See that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of the birth pains." What do birth pains represent? Tribulation, made clear by what Jesus said preceding the statement. Following his statement about birth pains, Jesus goes on to tell his disciples that there would be tribulation, hatred, offense, betrayal, false prophets, and lawlessness. He then states the following: "But the one who endures to the end will be saved." In our next video study, we will look further into birth pains.